2020 gets underway, and the game of the week on the Valley Channel features Westlake at Ridgeline. Ridgeline lost the first 4 games of their season, but they've won 7 in a row since then. They're a team that puts the ball in the hoop from long range about 8 times per game. Yeah, 8 3-pointers per game. They're led by Caden Cox. He's just a sophomore, and another sophomore, Peyton Knowles. Those 2 guys are young, but they get the job done for the Riverhawks. For Westlake, they're big. They come in and get a lot of scoring down low. So Ridgeline's going to have a little bit of trouble working with them down low. Ridgeline's got a little bit of size themselves. We'll see if the long ball will go in for the Riverhawks and if they can hit the boards when it doesn't against a big Westlake team. The game of the week on the Valley Channel is coming up next, so don't go anywhere.
Life's more than a race to the finish. It's the power to choose what you do and a trainer for where you go.
Welcome to Thailand. So glad that you joined me.
Ready to get started? Let's go.
It's having a friend guiding you on the journey as a partner with a plan built specifically for you on any day for every day. It's someone there for every weight, lift, and lunge, and every flex, push, and crunch.
Nice work, you guys.
It's motivation, inspiring you mentally and physically. A companion for the downhills and the uphills. A coach for the tough days
Keep going.
and the easy days. Showing you new things and taking you to new places. Because with your trainers, fitness is an adventure.
Great job. This view is your reward. I'll see you again tomorrow for another amazing workout.
The X22i from Nordic Track. Your life, your trainers.
Wendy's is saying thanks for making the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger America's #1 bacon cheeseburger by giving you more of what you love. Introducing Wendy's Giant Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. Double the beef, double the bacon, and now it comes in a giant meal for $5 with nuggets, fries, and a drink. There's absolutely nothing junior about it, except the price. Get Wendy's $5 Giant Junior Bacon Cheeseburger meal before it's gone.
Well, Coach, here we go. We're starting out 2020 with a brand new coach. Yeah. And Coach Day, why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself? You've been here in the Valley for a while, but you've been an assistant, and now it's all on your shoulders.
Right. Yeah, I've been here in the Valley. This is my 6th year in the Valley now, and I've really loved it up here. Been a part of the program at Mountain Crest and here at Ridgeline. Part of the state championship team for 3 years ago now, and really it's been a fun transition. I've known these boys for a long time since they've been involved, and so it's been pretty seamless that way basketball wise, and the kids are really buying in and doing a good job right now.
So you start the season 0-4, and you're probably wondering, all right, what do we need to tweak here? And whatever you tweaked, it seemed to work, because 7-0 since that start.
Sure. Part of it was competition. I mean, we started at Fremont, #1 team in the state, and then we got 2 of the St. George schools up here and didn't play very well against one of them, but then Pineview, we gave them all they had, and they're a good team, and then we went to Layton, who's the #2 team in 6A. So, so that was a tough start, but it was a good start for us. We played well in most of those games. Really where things started to turn around is we started to just play a little bit more connected defensively. Offensively, we're doing totally new stuff, and so that's taken some time, and it still is a learning process right now. But the kids are getting better and better each game, and they're believing in each other. So,
as you look at the stats, I mean, you guys are putting in about 8 3-pointers a game. You'll shoot the long ball, but you've got some pretty decent size as well. You go against a Westlake team tonight that's got some size down low. They got a kid that's kind of a load. So, what do you need to do against Westlake? What are you looking for from your squad in your last tune-up before region?
Yeah, they're really tough. I mean, another tough 6A school. This will be our 5th 6A opponent of the preseason, and they got a 6'8" kid averaging 18 a game or something close to that, and then their guards are really athletic, and they get out and guard, and then they put a ton of pressure on the rim. So we have to be connected defensively. That's really the biggest thing. It all starts there. If we can get stops in the half court and then get out and take care of the ball, where we've struggled is when we turn it over too much and get out and transition and have to play that way. If we can get stops in the half court and get out and execute our stuff, I like our chances, but it'll take a real big effort from our guys tonight.
All right, well, good luck with that. It's glad to see you here, and good luck the rest of the season.
Okay, thank you.
Say the word base. Say the word mess.
Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
At Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, we believe in a very thorough hearing test. Do you hear ringing noises? Does any member of your family have hearing loss? Do you have frequent or severe headaches? Any numbness in your face or fingertips? Do loud sounds hurt your ears? Were you in the military? Have you ever had your hearing tested before?
No, I have not.
Say the word mousetrap. Say the word baseball. Say the word airplane. Say the word cowboy. It also told us if you had a cold, I was able to make the words and you were still able to.
What are all the rest of the...
Okay.
Bring back what you've been missing. Bring back Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
The Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by Icon Health and Fitness, changing lives with fitness innovation. Wendy's of Cache Valley, it's way better than fast food, it's Wendy's. Mountain Star Cache Valley Hospital, together we're greater. New Smile Dental, experience dental care. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, bring back what you've been missing. Palmer Home Furnishings, our low overhead means higher quality at lower prices. Aspen Dental, get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. KSM means music. Music is all we do. Four Seasons Apartments and Townhomes is your home. Anderson Seed and Garden, growing better gardeners. Factory Pizzeria, we're open late after the game. The Logo Shop, we logo stuff, all kinds of stuff. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's TV station for over 25 years. Hello and welcome to the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel. I'm Eric Olson. Tonight, the Ridgeline Riverhawks hosting the Westlake Thunder here at Ridgeline in Millville. Westlake down in the Saratoga Springs area, making the long drive up I-15 for the last of the non-region games for both of these teams tonight. Westlake, a 6A team, coming in at 7-3. They're in Region 4. They've won 3 of their last 5. And 2 of those 3 losses were by a combined 5 points. They're a good squad that plays in a very good region. Going against the Ridgeline Riverhawks, who come in at 7-4. They lost the first 4 games of the season. And since then, they've put together 7 straight wins. If you saw our interview with the coach, Coach Kyle Day, in his first year here at Ridgeline, if you saw that interview, you'll know they played a tough schedule. Speaking of Ridgeline, they've played a handful of 6A teams. They played against Layton, who's one of the best 6A teams in northern Utah. And then they played Fremont, who's number 1 in 6A right now, games to start out the season. They lost to Pineview in that North-South tournament by a bucket at Skyview. At Skyview at the first part of December. And then they go on this win streak where they win 7 games in a row, and they're starting to kind of come together as a team. Coach Day coming to Cache Valley as an assistant down at Syracuse High School. He's originally from the Salt Lake area, and he's an assistant at Syracuse for a few years. He spent the last 6 years here in the Valley, first at Mountain Crest and then here at Ridgeline. He's seen a lot of success as an assistant with the Riverhawks. Westlake's coached by Nate Carling. He's in his 6th year. They were 16-7 last year, 3rd in Region 4. They were 4-4 in Region. They lost by 1 point in the first round, 62-61 to Davis, and no returning starters for Westlake. Ridgeline has some guys coming back that contributed last year, but they don't have returning starters either. All right, we're going to have the national anthem here at Ridgeline.
Oh, sing, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we
by the national anthem, and we're ready for the starting lineups for both of these teams. Ridgeline starting a couple of sophomores, 2 seniors and a junior, so sophomores that will keep our eye on Caden Cox. 15 points per ball game. He's number 2 in 4A in 3-pointers. He makes just over 3 a game. He's 7th in the state in made 3-pointers. Noah McCord for Westlake will get the start. 10 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists at 6'2". Parker Nelson's a 6-footer. He averages 6 points and 2 rebounds. Willie Jensen, 10 points and 4 rebounds for number 13. Kobe Shaw, 5'11", 3 points and 3 assists. And the big guy in the middle, Hunter Phillips, he's 6'8", 16 points, 7 rebounds per game. That's who Westlake's going to have to try to slow down in the post. And the lights go out for the intros here at Ridgeline. One of the 2 seniors that starts for this team, Jackson Baker, at 6'3", averaging 8 points, 4 rebounds, and a couple of assists per game. He wears number 2. Senior Jacob Salveson at 6'5", averaging 7 points, 4 boards, and a couple of assists. He wears number 11. Chase Hall is a 6-foot junior, 7 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists for Chase Hall. Now down to the sophomores. Caden Cox, he's a 6-foot sophomore, 15 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal and a half per ball game. And Peyton Knowles, a 6'4" sophomore, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and he comes from some athletic stock. His mother, Melena Fryer, way back in the day, and Marty Knowles, his father, both Mountain Crest Mustangs, and they were 2 of the best athletes that have ever come out of Mountain Crest. Marty Knowles, I think, could play any sport on earth and be one of the best players on the court at whatever age he's on. And Melena was an all-state volleyball player. She was a coach as well out of Mountain Crest, or here in the Valley for a while. So, and of course, Caden Cox, his dad Travis Cox played at Mountain Crest and Utah State. His grandfather Dan Cox, a longtime coaching great here in northern Utah, Mountain Crest, Skyview, Bear River. And you look at Caden Cox, number 4 there, you can see him right near the bottom of your screen. He doesn't look like a ball player. They list him at 6 feet, and I would be surprised if he's 6 feet tall. But he's a player. He's just an athlete all the way around. As Hall hands off to Salveson. Baker finds Hall. And Ridgeline against an aggressive Westlake defense. Baker gets in the lane. Left-hand layup is good. Westlake coming the other way. Thunder hold far side. Jensen gives it up to Shaw. Jensen back down to McCord. McCord looking inside. Phillips comes up to set the screen. On the roll, Phillips with it. Working down low against Baker, misses a shot. Rebound fought for. Salveson comes out with it. And Hall will walk it across the timeline. 2-0 Ridgeline, just over a minute in. Hall, 3 in the corner, long. Cox looks for the rebound, but it's grabbed on the floor by Shaw. Nelson goes to the left hand, says come get it to McCord, who does, and then he hands it off to Jensen. Back to Shaw. Looking into Phillips, he's doubled, front and back, blocked by Salveson. Phillips gets it back, Salveson ties him up in the possession arrow, favoring Westlake.
Westlake basketball.
So they got somebody fronting Phillips and somebody playing right on his hip behind him. And just trying not to give him any room and see if they can't keep the ball from getting into his hands as Baker knocks this one out of bounds. Shaw will trigger in. Looks and finally finds McCord. McCord looking low to Phillips. Entry pass, and Phillips turns and fires, rims out. McCord yanks down the board, has it knocked away from him by Baker and off of his leg and out of bounds. Ridgeline basketball. Pressure now by Westlake, and they clear out for Cox. Steps over the timeline just in time and hands it off to Hall. Hall blows by his man, fakes, left hand, lay it up, score it. Chase Hall makes it 4-0 Ridgeline with 5:45 to play in the first quarter. Jensen looking, finally finds McCord straight away. Here's the lob into Phillips, and he loses it out of bounds. They're trying to get it to the big man, and Ridgeline's doing everything they can to make his life tough. He's 6'8", he's slender, and so they're working on him. And they haven't made things easy here in the early going for Phillips. Hall between the circles with the orange shoes. Salveson on the elbow, now we're back up top. Here's the lob to Baker. He had to push off of Shaw to get it. He's lucky he didn't get called for a foul. Good defense by Westlake. Salveson stripped by McCord. Baker picks it up and scores. McCord stripped it away, and Baker, Johnny on the spot, he picks it up and scores, makes it 6-0. Ridgeline, 4.5 to play here in the first period, and here's Cox with a steal. Second turnover for the Thunder. Cox looking at Hall off the curl. Instead, he goes to Salveson. Knowles with his first touch. Back to Knowles. Hall, nothing there for him. Here's Cox on the drive. Double clutch, put it in. They're attacking the left side of the basket. Cox with two, and it's 8-0 Ridgeline midway through this first quarter as Shaw brings the ball up. Hands off to McCord. Now we're out front to Jensen. Jensen looking for the pick and the roll, and it goes through Phillips' hands, and he tracks it down before it goes into the backcourt. Westlake resets. Coach Carling calling out the set. Nelson gets all the way to the rim, still can't get a score. Speaking of the Thunder. Rebounded out of there, and here comes Ridgeline looking for a 10-point lead. Cox attacks. Now we're back out front as Hall is tripped up. Ball on the floor, and a jump ball favors Ridgeline. Let's see. It's a jump ball. So the possession arrow goes to the Riverhawks, their second jump. Phillips is 6'8", but Ridgeline is keeping him off the boards. They're sending multiple guys after him, and Ridgeline's clearing on a missed shot. Defensively, they're rebounding well. Here's Knowles down low against the big man. Put it up, leave it short, and Phillips taps the rebound out to Shaw. Shaw loses it. Taken away by Salveson. Baker from the right side, too hard. Knocked out of bounds, and it stays here. 3 turnovers for Westlake.
Substitution in for Westlake.
Noah Madsen replaces Parker Nelson. Madsen 8 points, 5 assists, and 2 steals on the season. As we're under 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. Cox kicks it out to Hall. Wide open look at a 3, and it's short. Rebound fought for, and Knowles with the foul. He knocked it away from Shaw, but he hit him across the forehead with his forearm. And Knowles, the first foul for either team. And there's 2:45 to play in the first quarter. 8-0 Ridgeline. They've already had one quarter where they haven't allowed a score this season. And it's still a scoreless Westlake team. Here's Cox. Stops, goes, swatted. I was talking to Coach Kyle Day, and they had a game earlier this year where they outscored a team 16-0 in a quarter. They had a 0-point quarter. I don't know in almost 30 years of doing this if I've ever seen that. Here's Baker. He turns and leaves it short. And with 2:15 to play in this first quarter, Westlake is scoreless. It's 8-0. Madsen gets to the rim, and that's what we were just talking about, and I broke up the no-hitter. Don't ever mention it. Hall has it poked away from behind by Madsen. Madsen off the bench, and he gives Westlake a boost. And all by himself, he cuts the deficit in half. It's 8-4 Ridgeline. No three-pointers yet for a Ridgeline team that averages 8 makes, nearly 8 makes per game. Baker gets in the middle and he throws it out of bounds. 2 turnovers now for Ridgeline. And Kyler Hansen coming off the bench for the Riverhawks. He'll replace Baker.
For Ridgeline, replacing Jackson Baker.
Giving up a little bit of size. Baker at 6'3". Hansen listed at 6'2". Baker put together a little thicker than Hansen. Madsen hands it back to McCord. Down low to Phillips. It's tipped away and turned over. Firing away off the bench and missing the 3 is Hansen. That was NBA range. Under a minute to play now in this first quarter. 8-4 Ridgeline. With McCord slows things down. Working against Hansen, hands off to Shaw. Shaw gets Hall up in the air, raises, misses. 1 and done for Westlake. Salveson in the corner to Cox. 3, got it. 5 for Cox, and it's an 11-7 lead with 25 seconds to play in the first. Ridgeline on top. Down low to Phillips. He's doubled. And he's grabbed on the arm. It looked like Hansen. Knowles did a good job of having his hands straight up, and that would have been his second foul, and they call it on Hansen. That's the right call. Hansen reached in and got Phillips' arm.
That's a foul by Kyler Hansen. Up at the line, shooting Jace Hayes.
They are making life tough on Phillips. Knowles 6'4", he's got those long arms. As Phillips misses the first free throw.
In for Westlake 25, Oakley Slade.
Oakley Slade comes into the ball game for Westlake. Phillips hits 1 of 2. We'll see if Ridgeline plays for the last shot with 15 seconds left. In an 11-5 first quarter, Ridgeline's led from go. Salveson kicks it back out to Hansen. Hansen in amongst the tall timber. Out to Cox, who glances up at the clock. Knowles straightaway 3 at the buzzer, and he's just wide to the left. 11-5 your score after 1. Ridgeline leads Westlake on the game of the week.
My grandpa went to the Star Hospital to get his back fixed. The doctor used a robot to make a mini invasion. That's pretty cool. When Grandpa had his old back, he just wait on the couch and watch the news. But now we do cool stuff like fishing and hiking.
We provide comprehensive spine care and minimally invasive orthopedic procedures at 8-star hospitals all along the Wasatch Front. Look for the star.
Wonder where they keep all the robots.
Hi, Cache Valley. This is Fernando over the Factory Pizzeria. We're running a special right now. We're giving out free nachos when you buy a large pizza with 3 toppings. Just mention this and you're gonna get a free nachos every time you come. The Factory Pizzeria is located in 119 South Main, below the Gia's in the basement. Come see us as soon as you can. Thank you.
So, you bought your computer from one of those big box stores, or online, and now it's really slow, or just not working right.
Target acquired.
PCs Unlimited can fix it. Fixing computers is what we do, and we've been doing it for over 20 years. Service, repair, diagnostics, networking, upgrades, system and data recovery, all your computer needs. Our prices are low and our customer service is the best. You won't get help from the big box or online. Come see the professionals at PCs Unlimited.
(11-5), Ridgeline leads Westlake as we return here for the second quarter. Eric Olson along with you tonight on the Game of the Week of the Valley Channel, the first of a new year, the first of a new decade. As we hit the 2020s, the jury is out on whether said 20s will be roaring or otherwise. Westlake plays Bingham next week, and Ridgeline playing Green Canyon next week as region play starts for both of these teams. Slade will inbounds as it's Slade, McCord, Phillips, Fury, and Shaw for Westlake. Ridgeline counters with Salveson, Cox, Hansen. Spencer Adams now off the bench, and Knowles. Adams guarding Shaw as Shaw gives it up. Madsen looking low to Phillips. Now Phillips has to get out of the key. He had good position on Knowles. Shaw kicks it outside all the way to the rim, and missing is Fury. Cox accelerates, loses it out of bounds, but a foul called on Madsen. That's the first foul of the game against Westlake. And are they going to say it was a shooting foul? Yes, they are. So Cox goes to the line for 2. He had 5 points in that first quarter to help Ridgeline out to that 11-5 lead. They led 8-0 before Westlake finally got on the board. Westlake ends the quarter with a 5-3 run of their own, if you can call that a run, as Cox makes the first of 2. He's perfect from the line. And now it matches the largest lead of the game at 8 at 13-5. Slade directing traffic, splits the defenders, has it knocked away, and he turns it over. 5 turnovers for Westlake. Cox double teamed, gives it off to Salveson, who gets to the rim, and it's knocked away by Phillips. The long arms of Hunter Phillips denies Salveson, and on the other end, Oakley Slade connects 13-7. Ridgeline. Adams across the timeline, purple shoes for him. And green ones for Cox. Down the lane, knocked away and turned over as Cox with the 3rd turnover of this half for Ridgeline. Spin by Madsen, and Knowles knocks it away. Cox is there to take it away. Phillips falls down at midcourt. Cox dribbles around him. But they can't get anything out of the numbers. Adams jacks up a 3 and hits it. 16-7, biggest lead of the game for Ridgeline. Approaching the 6-minute mark of this first half. Slade's got room, drives in, he's shut off. Now he's back out to Fury. Shaw looks into Phillips. Phillips turns to his left, hooks it up, turns to his right, and hooks it up. Misses it. As Knowles putting a body on him, keeping those arms straight up, and then just trying to keep a body on him and not let him get comfortable on the block. Adams back out to Cox. Cox, free throw line. Nope, he doesn't go for the jumper. Hansen in the corner to Salveson. Adams straight away, hit one, doesn't make the second. Timeout Westlake as Nate Carling says that's enough. A 16-7 team last year. Third in Region 4, one of the toughest regions in the state in 6A. They've won 3 of their last 5 games, and 2 of those losses, 2 of their 3 losses, by a combined 5 points. So they're a team that's been playing well. But Ridgeline has taken control of this game here early, and they're giving them lots of trouble. Ridgeline last year only 7-14. They were 5th in Region 12, 2-8, and no playoffs for the Riverhawks a year after winning the state championship. Their last game was against Star Valley. They beat Star Valley. Cox had 22 points in that game, 5 3-pointers. On the way to the big win. Madsen hands it off to Nelson, who's back into the ballgame. Nice move, step back, miss. Rebound fought for, and it's saved back in by Hansen, and then Slade will go to the line.
Foul on Spencer Adams.
Adams gets called for the foul. It's the 3rd team foul. Only 4 fouls in this first half combined. There's 5:10 to play. And Slade, the first free throw for him. He makes the first, and Knowles will take a seat. Caleb Smullen replaces him. Both free throws good by Slade. Full court pressure applied by Westlake. Hansen in the corner. On front to Adams, now Cox. Cox with pretty good handles. Leaves it for Adams. Down low to Smullen into the game. He loses the handle, gets it back, and finds Cox. And they work it around. Here's Baker. Adams in the lane. Up, under, in. Adams has come off the bench for 5 points. And then a steal by Cox, and he puts it up and in. So 4 quick points, and it's a 20-9 ball game for Ridgeline. Adams tries for the steal, and then he knocks down Nelson, and he's called for the foul. That steal happened so fast on the inbounds. They were just a little careless with it, and Cox was there, averaging about a steal and a half a game. He's got 2 in this one in the first half. And Caden Cox has 9 points, averaging 15 a ball game. The big guy, Phillips, who averages 16 a game, is out right now for Ridgeline. They go low to Jensen, and they throw it away. He was on the block calling for it. They tried to enter it. It was a little tall for him, off his hand and right to Ridgeline. 20-9 Ridgeline. Stripped away and taken away from Salveson. 4th turnover for the Riverhawks. Nelson with a little rocker dribble, and then he gets stuck and throws it away. 8 turnovers for Westlake. Adams in those purple shoes. I think those are the Dons, the Donovan Mitchell shoes. Down low to Smullen. Working on Slade. Keeps his pivot foot. Spins around, down, and in. Smullen off the bench with a couple of points, 22-9 Ridgeline. Opening up a big lead, 13 points with 3:13 to play in this first half, and Jensen is blocked by Smullen.
Into the ball game for Ridgeline, number 15, Chase Hall.
Smullen at 6'5", 220. Pretty good size kid. Caden Hoppins in right now for Westlake. They go into McCord. McCord somehow gets it up and over the rim. 22-11. Ridgeline. Ball's loose and Hall tracks it down after it was knocked away. Baker. Salveson. Cox on the bench taking a rest. Salveson spins to his left. Good defense there by McCord. He has to give it up. And now Baker working. Long three on the way, won't go. As Hansen misses it. And Westlake looking to cut into that 11-point deficit. Hoppins hands it off to McCord. McCord. Back out to Jensen. Three from the corner. Short, he knew it and he follows it. But he can't get there before Smullens corrals it. Ahead to Baker. Baker takes the contact. Can't get it to drop. And now trying to force a jump ball is Smullen.
Jump ball.
And the possession arrow favors Ridgeline. Phillips took a rest. He's back in with 1:53 to play in the half. And a 22-11 Ridgeline lead. Slade sits for Westlake. And Knowles will come in for Smullen. Smullen played some good minutes. Hit a bucket. Just forced that jump ball, which in essence added another possession for Ridgeline. Hall inside the free throw line. Bank shot won't go. Touched every part of the rim and then slid out. And down low, Knowles fighting against Phillips, and they're going to ring Knowles up. The outside official calls Knowles for his second foul. Coach Day's got a decision to make with 1:35 to play in the half and an 11-point game. Do you leave Knowles in there and pick up his third, or do you bring him to the sideline? And right now they're going to leave him in. They go right to Phillips. And from the backside, it's knocked away and out of bounds by Baker. And they're going to call the foul on Baker.
Foul on Jackson Baker.
That's Baker's first, and that's 5 team fouls on Ridgeline. And they are saying in the act of shooting, only 1 foul on Westlake. As Phillips misses the free throw. He does not have a field goal. He's got 1 point on 1 for 3 from the free throw line. Second one is good. So 2 of 4 from the line, 2 points for Phillips. And it's a 10-point Ridgeline lead with under a minute and a half to play in the half. All the way to the rim, Hall, lay it up too hard. He took a peek at Phillips and took his eye off the ball and then laid it up too hard, and a foul on the other end, and Westlake will go back to the free throw line. They're going to call this one on Hansen. That's Hansen's second. And Cox comes back into the ball game, and Baker will sit. Hoppins to the line, hits the first. Ridgeline's led by as many as 13. It's down to 8 now. For a little run here by Westlake, 4 free throws in a row. Cox works on Hoppins. Salveson against McCord. He's going to hand it back off to Cox. 55 seconds to play in the half. 22-14 Ridgeline. Knowles 40 seconds. Cox out to Hall. He passes up the three-pointer, double clutch. Look at the bucket, won't go. He's taken a couple of tough shots in the lane as Hall. He hasn't been able to connect on him here lately. And Westlake with a chance to get this down to 6 or maybe even 5. It was once a 13-point lead for Ridgeline. Jensen off of one leg, can't get it to go, and that's out of bounds. McCord tried to save it in, but it already hit the end line. 13.8 to play in the half. Ridgeline leads by 8, and they'll get the last shot, theoretically. Caleb Fury back into the ball game, as well as Noah Madsen. Jensen and McCord come out. Hall across the timeline. Backdoor cut to Hansen. Lay it up and in. Nice play. Here's the shot fired at the end of the half, and it won't go, and it's a 10-point lead for Ridgeline as we head to the locker room. 24-14, you're watching the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel.
Bring back what you've been missing. Bring back Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
Dr. Daines, I suppose, along with everybody else in my age group, I am now getting bombarded on a daily basis, it seems, in the mail with hearing aid advertisements coming through the mail. I don't know if you... Really, I just throw them away, because I would say if I needed a hearing aid, here is where I'd come to see you. Are people in danger with these things? I mean, are you going to get a product that's legitimate? Are you dealing with real people, or is it a scam?
You usually get a product it's a decent product, but is it fit for you? Everybody's a little bit different, and we want to be able to have you come in and find out what works best for your individual needs. Some of these hearing aids that you can buy through the mail are not really anything but amplifiers. They turn things up, but simply not turning things up, that doesn't solve the problem. We need to personalize the hearing aid to your individual loss. And make it so what frequencies need to be boosted are boosted, and those that don't need to be boosted aren't.
Okay, so just turning up the volume on something isn't actually going to fix the problem?
It does not. No, we need to make it so it matches exactly what your hearing is.
I had no idea it was that complicated, because, on the street, people might think, yeah, I can send away for one and it's generic and it'll work for everybody, but that really isn't the case.
It really isn't. No. And you also see a lot of times advertisements that say, come in for our free trial. We're offering a trial research, and come and give us your opinion on this hearing aid and we'll give you a discount. Right. We're doing a special study with the manufacturer. Well, the manufacturers already have their study done. Right. They wouldn't be offering it to somebody here. They have their own research facilities that they do these studies at. Okay. And so the study is how many hearing aids they can sell. Yeah. It's not a real study.
Yeah, and so again, it's just down to people pushing a product that could be right for A, B, and C, but is not anywhere right for the rest of the alphabet people. But coming here to Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, you are going to find out exactly, if you have 100 different people walking through in a day, you're going to find the exact right, and some of them may not even need a hearing aid, and of course you're never going to push that.
I do not do that. That's one thing that I pride myself in, is I'm not a salesman. Right. I take care of people, help them meet their needs, and take care of them, and do what we can that way, but I will not push or pressure anybody to purchase a hearing aid.
Yeah. So even though you might be tempted, even though you get these in the mail like I do, don't be tempted, because ultimately it may not be at all what you personally need. Come on down to Cache Valley Hearing and see Dr. Daines, and he will find you exactly what you individually need. Thanks, Dr. Daines.
Thank you.
Bring back what you've been missing. Bring back Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
love sports and I've always participated in sports and I've always played, and I think the best part about this job is being able to watch these athletes play, and it's part of my job just to sit there and watch these athletes succeed and play these wonderful sports. I always knew I wanted to work in medicine, and after playing many sports in high school and getting many injuries and having to come back from those injuries, I knew that I wanted to provide that same coverage and provide that same care to other student athletes, because sports is a key part of growing up. So I teach one class, and it's my exercise science sports medicine class, and it also gives the students some college credit, but mostly it gives me another setting to be with my athletes, and I can really get to know them off the field, and I can get to know their personalities. That way when an injury does happen on the field, that I can better take care of them because they know me and they recognize me. You keep people on the court and you keep them on the field and they're always playing, and I always wanted to be a part of that. I always wanted to be part of the team, and I always wanted to just participate and make sure that everybody who is healthy can stay out there playing a lot longer. So you never want to see anybody actually get hurt, but when it does happen, it's always good to be there, because then we can evaluate to see if it's actually going to be a game changer for them. And most of the time it's not. Most of the time it's just an injury, and then we can actually get them back into play a lot quicker had they just gotten hurt and sat out. And that's what's most important about having us athletic trainers there, is that we can really work on these injuries and get them out a lot faster had they just sat out. Cache Valley Hospital is a great company to work for. They provide so much support for their athletic trainers that it just makes working with these athletes such a breeze. If we ever have any questions, concerns about a certain athlete, we can just call on our support, and the hospital is very, very generous to us here at the school, and it's just a great company, and they help the community, and they care about these athletes as much as we do, and they don't see them every day, but they still care about them, and that makes it such a different dynamic to work with. My job is to prevent injuries from happening, but to also get the athletes back out on the field as quickly as possible after one happens, and that's what Cache Valley Hospital is all about.
Talent is important in every sport, but when you get on the field, it's who wants it more, who's willing to work harder for it, and that's what I love about it.
He was about 5 years old, and we went to a little routine eye check, and it turns out that he couldn't see with his left eye at all.
You know, your eyes are a pair, they're a duo, and amblyopia comes in when one of them gives up.
One eye is so much stronger than the other that the weak eye stops working, so you have to strengthen it.
I wore a patch on my eye to school every day, and I just felt not as good as everyone else. I would come home and I'd cry sometimes because I was the freak of the school.
There were times when I got so angry on his behalf. How can these other kids treat you this way?
But it made me realize it's not that everyone's better than me, I just have to work harder than everyone. I needed to keep going until it made my eye stronger. So I wore that patch every day for 5 years, and when I finally got to take that patch off for the last time, it had made me a completely different person. But I still struggle with depth perception, things that come naturally to other defenders on the field, I have to work for. I was going to the gym and I was a much stronger player. I was no longer the guy getting pushed off the ball, I was the guy bodying people.
For technical ability, he's off the charts. He's an absolute winner, always gets the job done.
When you're fighting, you're struggling, you're working hard with your team, you're putting forth everything that you have, and then when you finally put the ball in the back of the net, it's the most beautiful feeling in the world. If you work hard at something, you can be successful. You can beat the odds. You just can't give up. My left eye gave up on me, but I didn't want to give up on my eye.
Wendy's is saying thanks for making the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger America's #1 bacon cheeseburger by giving you more of what you love. Introducing Wendy's Giant Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. Double the beef, double the bacon, and now it comes in a giant meal for $5 with nuggets, fries, and a drink. There's absolutely nothing junior about it, except the price. Get Wendy's $5 Giant Junior Bacon Cheeseburger meal before it's gone.
My older brother thought he could do a 360. Yeah, he got maybe a 60 before his face plant. We went to the emergency room and Dad told us to behave because we probably would have to wait a long time. But they brought us right back here, and the doctor used x-ray vision to see what the big dummy broke.
ER specialists at every one of our 8-star hospitals are dedicated to seeing you fast. Mountain Star Hospitals. Look for the star.
Gonna post this on Instagram.
The Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by Icon Health and Fitness, changing lives with fitness innovation. Wendy's of Cache Valley, it's way better than fast food, it's Wendy's. Mountain Star Cache Valley Hospital, together we're greater. New Smile Dental, experience dental care. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, bring back what you've been missing. Palmer Home Furnishings, our low overhead means higher quality at lower prices. Aspen Dental, get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. KSM means music. Music is all we do. Four Seasons Apartments and Townhomes is your home. Anderson Seed and Garden, growing better gardeners. Factory Pizzeria, we're open late after the game. The Logo Shop, we logo stuff, all kinds of stuff. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's TV station for over 25 years. Back at Ridgeline High School, Eric Olson along with you as we get ready to start the second half. Ridgeline leads 24-14. They jumped out to an 8-0 lead to start this game and led 11-5 after one. They outscored Westlake 13-9 in that second quarter. Ridgeline was led by sophomore Caden Cox, who had 9 points, 2 free throws, 2 field goals, and a 3-pointer. 5 points from Spencer Adams off the bench, including a 3-pointer. 4 points for Jackson Baker, all coming in the first quarter, and then a bucket apiece from Chase Hall, Kyler Hansen, and Caleb Smullen. They've really spread things around on their way to their 24 points. Westlake had 2 players with 4 points, and that's it. Noah Madsen and Oakley Slade with 4 points. And then 2 points for Noah McCord, 2 points for Hunter Phillips, all from the free throw line, and Caden Hoppins with 2 points. 2, 4, 6, 8 free throws in the first half for Westlake. They were 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Ridgeline was 2 of 2. 4 of those 8 free throws from Phillips as they're throwing everything and the kitchen sink at Phillips, trying to keep that big 6'8" body off the boards and out of their lane. 13, the largest lead for Ridgeline in that first half. Westlake got it down to 8 late in the half, and then Ridgeline with a bucket to go back up by 10. Here's Phillips getting low. Phillips makes it an 8-point ball game, 24-16 Ridgeline. Down goes Hall and a foul by Nelson. That's a lot of curly hair out there between Nelson and Hall. Hall loses it as he tries to go baseline. Turnover Ridgeline, their 5th of the game. 9 turnovers in the first half for Westlake. McCord looking at a 3. Won't go, rebound. McCord chases it down, but it's Salveson that comes out of the pack with it. Salveson to the rim, leaves it short. Picks up his own rebound and then has it knocked away and out of bounds. Ridgeline starts the second half the way they started the game with Cox, Baker, Knowles, Hall, and Salveson. Here's Cox. Back out to Salveson, excuse me, Knowles. And Knowles with his first bucket. Don't let points fool you with Knowles. He does so much, and he's been the guy that's been called upon to try to slow down the big 6'8" Hunter Phillips. Down low, Willie Jensen gets all the way to the rim, but Salveson's there to turn him away. Baker, little push shot won't go. Rebound knocked away by Hall. Still free. Knowles picks it up. Cox passes up the three-pointer and then has it blocked by 6'8" Hunter Phillips. Cox had a great look at a three and instead wanted to get to the rim. Nelson all the way to the rim on the other side, and Phillips puts it up and in.
Basket good, number 33, Hunter Phillips.
26-18. Still an 8-point ball game. Ridgeline with the lead. We've played 2 minutes here in this second half. Knowles leaves it short. Hall sneaks in for the rebound, gives it off to Salveson, diving down the lane. And Salveson with his first bucket. 28-18. Five and a half to play in the third quarter. McCord trips, falls, fouled. They call the foul on Salveson, his first. This official right here. In the first half, there were 7 fouls called total. I think he called 6 of them. He's been active. Nelson out of the ball game, as is Jensen. Slade and Madsen in. Madsen with the ball. Fury. Actually, that's Shaw. Fury's 25. Shaw's 23. Shaw with the ball. 5 minutes to play in the quarter. And Phillips and Knowles getting into it. Looks like Knowles may have just picked up his third foul, and Phillips throwing a little bit of an elbow. I don't know if it was an elbow so much as a slapping Knowles' arm off him. Knowles is going to get right back up in him. And Knowles is going to pick up foul number 4. He was holding. You could see it clear up here. So Smullen will come in. And he'll body up Phillips. When I say body up, that's what they're doing. They are putting a body on Phillips. Shot won't go, but Smullen picks up the foul. Now the foul's starting to rack up for Ridgeline. That's their 4th. We haven't even played 3 minutes here in this third quarter. And McCord misses. This is his first trip to the line. McCord misses them both. Rebound, tracked down by Shaw, and he loses it out of bounds. Slade into the ball game, and McCord takes a seat. All working against Madsen across the timeline. Hall all the way to the rim, and he's fouled. 7 fouls in the whole first half. That's foul number 6. Here in this quarter, we've played just over 3 minutes. And that foul was on Madsen, his second. I think he's got the only team fouls that Westlake has. Baker, 3 in rhythm. Rims around and out. And Hall reaches in, and he's called for the fouls. They're tightening things up. Knowles and Phillips were ready to throw hands about 2 possessions ago. And now the officials are tightening things up. Saying, all right, guys, that's how it's going to be. We're going to start blowing whistles. Settle down. 28-18, still a 10-point lead for Ridgeline. A whole lot of action, but not a lot of scoring in the last couple of minutes. Madsen to the rim, Smullen there for the block. Madsen looking finally. Gets the ball inbounds as Fury hands it off to Shaw. No 3-pointers tonight for Westlake. Ridgeline averages almost 8 makes a game from beyond the arc, and they've had 2 in the first half. Slade back out to Madsen, 3, rims around, won't go, Smullen grabs the board. Baker cross court to Cox. Cox in the corner to Hall. Hall bumped by Phillips. And Phillips just picks up his first foul. Cox fires it into Salveson. Baker in the corner. Now Salveson gets it back from Smullen. Salveson. Baker. Corner to Hall. 3. Won't go. Westlake's got numbers. Layup up and in by Fury. 28-20. Ridgeline's lead cut to 8. Just under 3 minutes to go here in the third. Baker. Down low, turns into a double team, and Phillips may have got a piece of that. He pulls it down. A nice bounce pass out front and a layup for Slade. Madsen dropping a dime. And Slade makes it an 6-point ball game, and here's a turnover by Ridgeline. Ridgeline's only scored 4 points this quarter. There's 2:20 to play in the third. Westlake can cut it to a 3-point lead with a 3-pointer. Looking low to Phillips, they can't find him. Madsen has it knocked away, and Hall probably picks up foul number 2. Let's see who they call it on. No, they're going to call this one. Yeah, they are going to call it on Hall. That's his second. Adams and Hanson in. Baker and Hall sit. In a 6-point ball game. Ridgeline's led right from the jump. But Westlake making a move here in the third. Slade turns around and hits. Oakley Slade with 8 points off the bench, and it's a 4-point ball game, 28-24. Ridgeline with 1:40 to play here in the third. It's free throws the rest of the game for Westlake. 6 fouls on Ridgeline. Coming off the screen and curl is Salveson with the left hand. Salveson with 4. Pushes the lead back to 6. Phillips is getting really frustrated with the physical play of Ridgeline. Smullen putting a body on him before the ball even came down. He pushed Smullen off him, turned around and said something to Bruce Allen, the official. He doesn't like all that contact. This one won't go. Phillips clears out the lane and puts it back. Phillips with 8. 30-26 Ridgeline. 50 seconds in the quarter. Salveson Back out to Hansen, looking at a three. Won't go, chasing down the miss into Salveson. Hansen fakes the three, gives it off to Smullen. Up, under, out. Westlake with a chance to make it a one-possession ball game with 25 seconds to play in the third. 30-26 Ridgeline. Madsen dribbles out front. Coach Carling calls the play. Salveson fronting Phillips down low. Phillips has Salveson on his hip. Instead, they shoot the three from the corner. It's no good. Rebounded by Cox, but he doesn't get the shot off. Phillips ended up on his back, no foul, and it's a 30-26 Ridgeline lead as we head to the fourth.
It's time for Wendy's Bacon Fest. That's right, the place that brought you the Baconator and sells more bacon cheeseburgers than anyone is making all your Applewood smoked dreams come true, like the all-new Bacon Jalapeno Cheeseburger or the Bacon Double Stack in the $5 Biggie Bag. If you're this crazy for bacon, make mine a double. We got you with the Bacon Jalapeno Cheeseburger or the Bacon Double Stack Biggie Bag. Get yours now at Wendy's Bacon Fest.
Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
At Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, we believe in a very thorough hearing test. Do you hear ringing noises? Does any member of your family have hearing loss? Do you have frequent or severe headaches? Any numbness in your face or fingertips? Do loud sounds hurt your ears? Were you in the military? Have you ever had your hearing tested before?
No, I have not.
Say the word mousetrap. Say the word baseball. Say the word airplane. Say the word cowboy. It also told us if you had a halt, I was able to make the words and you were still able to
What are all the rest of the...
Okay.
Bring back what you've been missing. Bring back Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
Attention winter athletes, no hospital network is more committed to short emergency room wait times than Mountain Star Healthcare. Text ER to 23,000 for current wait times.
Well, Ridgeline held Westlake to 2 single-digit quarters in the first half. 5 points in the first quarter, 9 points in the second. Westlake with 12 points there in the third quarter, and they held Ridgeline to only 6 points. Kind of that rule of thumb that we always talk about. 1 single-digit quarter, you're usually going to be okay. 2 single-digit quarters, yeah, you're in real danger of losing the ball game. Westlake's already had 2 single-digit quarters, but it's only a 4-point game. 30-26, Ridgeline shot well in that first half, but they were cold there in the third, and they got into foul trouble. It's going to be free throws the rest of this game for Westlake. 3 fouls on Westlake in that third quarter. Knowles is on the bench in foul trouble with 4. Adams, block, he'll go to the line. They're going to say before the shot or after. And they're going to call that on Kobe Shaw, his first. There've only been 5 fouls the entire game on Westlake as Adams misses. But there's only been, I think, 12 fouls on Ridgeline. Ridgeline's been playing pretty aggressive and very physically down low against Phillips. Adams makes 1 of 2. 31-26 Ridgeline, 7.5 to play in the game. Westlake taking their time. Zone look from Ridgeline. Shaw has the door closed by Cox. He goes back out front to Madsen, now back to Shaw. In the corner, Fury, and they work it around the perimeter. Fury fakes the three all the way in against Baker. Baker blocks it. Fury gets his own rebound. He's in no man's land, and he finds Madsen. Madsen spins to his left, up and under and in. Nifty move by Noah Madsen. 31-28 Ridgeline. Smolin has to climb the ladder to catch that entry pass. Back to Cox, who was scoreless in that third quarter. Hansen's shot won't go, and Phillips tracks down the rebound. Cox with 9 points in the first half. He hasn't scored here in the second. He hasn't really looked to score. Down low, Phillips misses, but Smolin pushed him. Two shots coming for Phillips. Smolin with his second. Phillips with 8, he averages 16. He's got 2 of those 8 at the free throw line. Now 3 of 9 at the free throw line. Willie Jensen and Noah McCord in for Furry and, Slade. Phillips makes them both. It's a 1-point ball game. Ridgeline has never trailed in this game. And now with 6 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the ball game, their lead's been cut to 1. Who's going to take over for the Riverhawks? Hansen off the curl, doesn't take the shot. Back to Adams. Cox drops it, picks it up. Baker to the rim. Baker with his first bucket since the first quarter. He's got 6. And Ridgeline wants a timeout as they push their lead back up to 33-30 with 5:58 to play in this ball game. Next up for us here on the Valley Channel, region play starts. We've got Mountain Crest and Logan, a nasty rivalry down through the years. Mountain Crest is struggling a little bit this year. And we'll see what they can do as they go into the Grizzly Den and take on the Grizzlies. A Logan team that we saw a couple of times early. We'll finally get a look at Skyview here in a couple of weeks. In Green Canyon, we've seen them as well. But next week, our first look at Mountain Crest. And Skyview winning tonight at Madison of Idaho. That's up in the Rexburg area. I got a score update from John Newbold over at the radio station. Texted me a score. It's 67-56 the final. Skyview wins that ball game. Three-point ball game is Jensen called for the foul. They'll go to the line. Baker got all balls, so they've got to call a body, and that's what they did. Baker with his second and more free throws for Westlake. 12 free throws on the night for the Thunder. This is number 13 as Willie Jensen misses the first. 2 free throws, 4 free throws tonight for Ridgeline. But Westlake's really been looking to get the ball inside. So you would think that there'd probably be a few more free throw attempts from a team trying to pound it in. 5.5 to play in the ball game. 33-31, Ridgeline. Cox kicks it out front. Here's Baker with a clean look. Hits over the outstretched arms of Phillips. Baker with 9, 5 here in the fourth quarter, the senior. Coming through in the clutch. 5-point lead now. Down low they go to Phillips. And Smolin fouls him. Phillips needs to be careful. He is taking a lot of contact. He's getting grabbed and such. He's been real close to throwing elbows a couple of times. He's kind of ripped his arm away in frustration. He needs to be careful. So not to throw an elbow, but they're grabbing him, they're holding him, they're putting a lot of body on him, trying to get into his head, and he steps up and hits the free throw. 3 in a row from Phillips. Looking for 4. He's dialed in. He's got 12 points. Half of them from the line. That's a Harden-like line. 5 minutes to play in the ball game. 3-point lead for Ridgeline. Hall back into the game, as is Knowles. Knowles playing with 4 fouls, and they're calling it tight down low, so he's going to have to be careful bodying up Phillips. Cox with 9 points, hasn't scored here in this second half. Hasn't really looked to score. As Shaw hounds him. 4.5 to play. And timeout, Ridgeline. And Coach Day has a few words for Caden Cox. Telling him he wanted something else. He calls timeout and they'll talk about it again. With 4.5 exactly to play. And Ridgeline leading 36-33, low scoring ball game. A lot of defense in this one. It's been an entertaining game. Ridgeline's led by as many as 13, but Westlake's just kept coming at them. Westlake, their last tune-up before region play starts next week. Here in Region 4, 6A. Corner Canyon, Bingham, I believe Lone Peak are the likes of the teams that are in that region. That's a tough region. Caden Cox is number 2 in 4A in 3-pointers made per game, and there's a turnover, and it's a 1-point ball game. Madsen with 8 points. And it's a 1-point game, 36-35. Ridgeline hanging on by their fingernails. Salveson looking for help, and he's going to throw it into the backcourt. So another turnover by Ridgeline, their 7th of the game. And Westlake with a chance to take the lead. I was talking about Cox, how he's the number 2 3-point shooter in 4A at 3 per game, 3 made per game. He's got 1 here tonight. Hall knocks it out of bounds. And I keep mentioning it because it is a storyline. Ridgeline's averaging close to 8 3-pointers made per game. They've made 3 tonight. Down they go to McCord, working on Salveson. Spins baseline. Jensen scoreless, still scoreless. Rebounded by Hall. And with 3:40 to play at a 1-point lead, Ridgeline will bring it across the timeline. Knowles, hands back to Cox. They clear it out for Cox. Cox bumped. Shot won't go, he'll go to the line. That's the 5th team foul on Westlake. Madsen picks up his 3rd. 9 fouls on Ridgeline. And if you think, oh, Ridgeline's getting the short end in that, no, they're playing really aggressive defense, and they're playing really hands-on defense against 6'8" Hunter Phillips down in the paint. They've made Phillips earn every one of his 12 points as Cox misses the first. Second for Caden Cox is good. 2-point ball game, 37-35. 3:15 to play. Shaw turns the corner all the way to the rim and misses. Salveson throws it away as he was falling out of bounds when he caught it. McCord to the rim, trying to tie it up. He can't get it to go. Phillips rips it away and he's fouled. He'll go to the line. And they're going to call it on Baker. Baker's third, and Phillips with a chance to tie it. He's hit 4 straight from the free throw line. This is free throw number 7 and 8 in this quarter for Westlake. And he misses. Ridgeline's had 4 free throws of their own. For Phillips, one more. 1 of 2 for Phillips. That was his first miss. He'd hit 4 in a row. He'd actually hit 5 in a row before he missed that one. Going back to the first half. We're under 3 minutes to play, and it's back to a 1-point Ridgeline lead as Hall just does get over the timeline with it. Cox didn't find Knowles on the roll, and now this one's going to go out of bounds. Salveson was out front, and then he started to cut as Cox threw it back to him just a little bit late. That's 4 turnovers here in this fourth quarter. 9 for the game for Ridgeline. Westlake can finally take the lead. Let's see if they do. They've had multiple chances. Jensen walked. They're not going to do it this time. 10 turnovers for Westlake. Their first of the fourth. Oakley Slade will check in for Willie Jensen. And Jensen kind of shakes his head and a sardonic grin on his face as he heads for the bench. Salveson takes it in bounds. They clear out for him. McCord reaches in on him. No foul. You heard the crowd react to that as we approach the 2-minute mark of a 1-point ball game. Ridgeline leads. Hall leaves it off for Knowles and a foul called. Phillips looked like he got all ball. Let's see if they call it on him or there was a player on the backside and they call it on Madsen. All right, Phillips was right. He didn't think he was for foul. He didn't think he fouled him, and he didn't. That was a clean block, but Madsen on the backside is who got called for the foul. So Knowles goes to the line with a chance to extend the lead. And he misses the first too hard. Westlake takes a timeout. Peyton Knowles with 2 points in the game. He's got 4 fouls. His main task has been to keep Hunter Phillips, a 6'8" senior averaging 16 points a game, in check. For the most part, he's done that. Phillips has 13 points. 7 of those 13 have come from the free throw line. And 4 of those trips have been courtesy of Mr. Knowles, who's played some great physical defense on Phillips. Phillips has really asserted himself here in this second half. He just kind of got tired of being pushed around down there, and he really has stepped it up here in this second half and has been very aggressive. And Knowles with a chance to make it a 2-point ball game. It's a 1-point lead for Ridgeline with 2:03 to play in the game. Both teams in the bonus. Westlake's in the double bonus. Knowles second, good. Under 2 minutes to play and a 2-point lead for Ridgeline in a low-scoring fourth quarter. 8 points for Ridgeline in this fourth. Ridgeline scored 14 the whole second half. Knowles and Phillips going at it, shoving each other, and Knowles just fouled out. And Coach Day calls the official over that fouled him out and wants to have a chat with him while Phillips shoots free throws. Knowles fouls out with 3 points. And Smullen will come into the ball game. 1:45 to play. Phillips goes to the line. He had a chance to tie it up a minute ago with a couple of free throws, and he only hit 1 of 2. Let's see what he does now. Hits the first. Six of 7 from the line for Phillips in this fourth quarter. 7 of 8, and we're tied. 15 points for Phillips. Cox steps over the timeline and hands it off to Hall. 90 seconds to play in the game, tied at 38. Man-to-man defense by Westlake. Baker loses it, taken away. Madsen with a chance for the lead. Madsen goes in hard and lays it up and in. Westlake with their first lead of the ball game after a turnover. And it comes with 1:05 to play. 40-38 Westlake. Hall fakes the three. Short corner, gives it to Baker. He gets Phillips up in the air, and Phillips reaches in and fouls him. It'll be 1-1 for Baker. For Phillips, that's only his second foul. They said it was before the shot, but it's a 1-1. That's the 7th team foul with 50 seconds left. Baker with a chance to tie. Baker's free throw good. Baker's got 6 points here in this fourth quarter. One more of the chance to tie. He's got 10 for the game. Makes them both. It's a little bit chilly in here. Ice water in his veins. Phillips showing some stone cold nerves as well to tie things up earlier with 2 free throws of his own. Tied at 40 with 48.9 seconds. See what Westlake elects to do. If they want to try to hold it for the last shot or just take the first thing they get. 15 points for Hunter Phillips to lead all scorers. Baker with 11. Cox with 10 for Ridgeline. Madsen came off the bench and he's got 10 for Westlake.
Here we go, Ridgeline fans, let's hear it!
Nine points in this quarter for Ridgeline. 14 for Westlake with 48.9 seconds to play in the ball game. And we're tied at 40. Ridgeline will put the pressure on. Nope, now they're going to back off. They showed pressure and then Coach Day backs them off. This would be a very good win for Ridgeline. They've won 7 in a row. And down goes Shaw, and it looked like he just tripped, but they're going to call Baker for the boot. Actually, that's not Shaw. That's Slade, and he'll get 2 free throws. I think he stepped on Baker's foot but 10 times out of 10 they call that as a foul. It's just unfortunate for the team that gets stepped on. Slade misses. This is free throw number 12 in this fourth quarter for Westlake. 7 for Ridgeline. He misses them both. Phillips cleans up. And we got a foul. They got to call it on Phillips. They are. And Phillips walks out of there and says, "Are you serious?" They're going to call him for up and over the back of Smullen. So now we walk to the other end for free throws. So Slade misses both, and Smullen gets a chance to break the tie at the other end. Misses. Rebound by Salveson in the corner. Blocked away and out of bounds from Hall. Cox will throw inbounds. Looking out front to Salveson. Timeout, Ridgeline. With 25 seconds to play in the ball game. This was a game in the first half. Excuse me, in the game in the first half that saw 7 total fouls. A lot different here in the second half. And quite typically, we've seen this officiating crew before, and this is actually how they officiate quite often. They'll let the teams play in the first half. They let them play quite a bit, unless things get a little chippy, and then they'll tighten it up. And then in the second half, they tighten things up. This is pretty typical of what we've seen out of at least 2 of these 3 guys that will ref together. They're usually a crew that keeps a pretty tight lid on things as games move on, and that's what they've done here tonight. And I think a lot of that was in response to it started to get really chippy. Ridgeline was being very physical against Phillips, and he was starting to get a little tired of it and being pretty physical back. And so you'll see that a lot as well with officials. They'll try to, put a lid on things. They don't want things to degenerate into something nasty, and they've really taken control of it here in the second half, especially in the fourth. Tie ball game, 20 seconds, Ridgeline with the ball. They're going to go for the win and run it all the way down. Let's see what happens. Cox. Good defense, didn't let him have the 3. Baker to the rim, miss it! Rebound by Madsen. And we got a foul. And Coach Day is wondering, why are you fouling him? Why are you fouling him? Now it's 2 free throws at the other end. Yeah, let him hold it. Don't foul him. And Coach Day can't believe it. And Smullen picks up his 4th foul. They're reaching in, trying to grab that ball. You're not down. You don't have to foul. And now Madsen goes to the line for 2. Miss. Now you got to get the rebound. Madsen with 10 points off the bench for Westlake. Makes the second. 1-point lead for Westlake. So Westlake will take the timeout. So somebody's going to win this ball game on the final possession. 41-40. Westlake leads. They took their first lead of the ball game with just over a minute to play after trailing the entire game by as many as 13 points, and they just hung in there and kept digging. 15 points here in this fourth quarter for Westlake. 9 of them from the free throw line. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. That's right. Ridgeline, 3, 6, 9 points in the fourth quarter of their own. 4 of those from the line. The Ridgelines missed 3 free throws in this fourth quarter in a 1-point game. Conversely, Westlake's missed 4 free throws in a 1-point game. So if they both hit them all, it'd still be a 1-point game with Westlake out in front. 3.7 seconds to go the length of the court. That's enough time for a couple of passes and a shot. You don't have to heave up a full or a half quarter. Westlake will be applying the pressure. Phillips will guard the inbounds pass. Hansen will throw it inbounds. Timeout.
Timeout on the court.
So both teams looking to see what the other's going to do. Then a timeout called by Westlake. And they'll set it up for a final play. So pretty much 4 seconds. Your first item of business, get the ball in bounds. You get it in bounds, you've got time for at least 1 pass, maybe 2 depending on how long the passes are. If you're throwing all the way down court, you maybe, after the first touch, you maybe have time for the 1 pass and a shot. But if you can get something in near 3/4 court, you've got time to dribble across midcourt and at least get a reasonable shot or maybe draw a foul. And if you're Westlake and Coach Nate Carling, you're telling your guys, do not foul. And that's what got us into this situation in the first place. It was tied at 40. Missed by a Ridgeline. A rebound by Westlake, and they fouled him in a tie game. Hall across the timeline. Shot at the buzzer. Oh, he misses it just short into the left. Looked like it had a chance, but Westlake comes back from double digits and comes up with the 41-40 win over Ridgeline. We hope you enjoyed the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel. Next week, Mountain Crest at Logan. We'll see you next time on the Valley Channel. The Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by Icon Health and Fitness, changing lives with fitness innovation. Wendy's of Cache Valley, it's way better than fast food, it's Wendy's. Mountain Star Cache Valley Hospital, together we're greater. New Smile Dental, experience dental care. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, bring back what you've been missing. Palmer Home Furnishings, our low overhead means higher quality at lower prices. Aspen Dental, get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. KSM means music, music is all we do. Four Seasons Apartments and Townhomes is your home. Anderson Seed and Garden, growing better gardeners. Factory Pizzeria, we're open late after the game. The Logo Shop, we logo stuff, all kinds of stuff. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's TV station for over 25 years.
Starting to lose our hearing? Is it genetic? Is it environmental? What's happening to us?
There's many things. Genetics can take a part of it. Certain medications, ototoxic drugs, but most of it's just life, living in general. We go to a concert here, we go to a motorcycle rally, we ride a motorcycle, we're exposed to all these loud sounds, loud music, but it all takes a little bit of hearing. A little bit here, a little bit there. We don't notice it. It's so slowly happening and it's painless, and over time just that little bit compounds, and pretty soon we have a significant hearing loss that's affecting our ability to communicate with our loved ones.
If you are experiencing any kind of problem, be you my age or be you younger, why don't you give Dr. Daines a call here at Cache Valley Hearing. Tell us where we are, Dr. Daines, and how they can get hold of you.
We're at 485 North Main Street in Logan, and you can just give us a call at 435-753-4327 or at 753-HEAR here.
Okay, well that's a good, that's very apt. Yeah, I should say so. Any kind of hearing loss, and literally, please don't let this feeling of embarrassment or it not being manly or cool, that's, you know, that's a bit dim. You shouldn't be embarrassed about something that is a natural aging process.
It's actually more noticeable when you don't hear and have to have people repeat themselves.
That's true. And extremely irritating for those around you that are having to repeat it time and time again. Thanks so much, Dr. Daines. And seriously, guys, give Dr. Daines a call. Your hearing problems will be solved. Thanks, Dr. Daines.